The first business policy that family businesses usually get together when they've set up those family meetings and done that structure is the family employment policy. A lot of families who haven't really even started with family governance and corporate governance are going to have this kind of policy. It may be an unwritten policy, but there's going to be a policy about who can work in the business and who can reach those executive tiers and those executive levels. And it's really important that this be one of the first policies that you talk about and that you kind of put down in writing and put down formally once you've gotten your family through the family meeting process and you decided how you're going to make these decisions and you kind of looked at what your goals are. This is something you really need to decide ahead of time because there are a lot of stakeholders in this. There are key employees that aren't family. There are family members who want to be in the business and who don't. There are family members who might want to be in the business later. There could be family members who are not blood relations like in-laws who want to be involved in the family business. And if you set these policies down ahead of time, then there won't be a lot of guesswork about who's playing favorites or can I come into this. Everyone's got the same expectations. They know the process. It doesn't provide that kind of tension. There are some kind of rules of thumb that I would recommend that you do when you're developing these policies. Firstly, try to make it about merit. What we really want to do for long-term success of the business is get rid of any kind of entitlement. Make sure that no one is entitled just because of their last name, just because of their blood relation to run the business or be a part of it. That might help them. It might give them a leg up, but they're not entitled to it. Make sure they still earn it. That way they're competent before they get up into that position. They can make those decisions. It also will clarify things for those key employees. If a key employee is really working hard and they have the ambitions to go up and be the chief executive officer, but you know that's never going to happen, that's something that needs to be put out there in the beginning. At least that way, if they decide to move on from the company, there's not hard feelings. We didn't burn any kind of bridge and we didn't create those kinds of problems. You want your family business to be a great place to work, and you want it to be known for that. And you want to have good morale with your employees, whether they're family members or not. And when it comes to those in-laws and things like that, you know, if your son or daughter's wife or her husband wants to be in the business and they really want to push for that, that can cause tension. You need to know under what grounds they can do that and things. And plus, a lot of times, by the time we get through that first generation or two, our children may have married someone already involved in the family. And if that's a special case, it needs to be stated as a special case. Or if that's going to be something regular, we need to talk about it. And if you want to set some kind of educational requirements and goals, you need to put that in there too, so that someone can't just grow up, get out of high school and say, hey, I've been sweeping the floors this whole time. I expect to go into management now. If you want to put some requirements like they need to work outside of the family business and know kind of what it's about, because working outside of a family business is a lot different than working inside depending on the culture. And if you want them to be able to stand on their own 2 feet and have that confidence that they could survive regardless of it, then you need to have that piece in the policy as well. Those are kind of the basic elements you need to have. Who can work in there and when? Focus on merit, not on entitlement. And how do in-laws and things reach those executive positions? That is the basis of a family employment policy. You may want to talk about when those older executives and things should step down, because if you have 2 generations that are maybe 10 or 15 years apart working together, then they both have the same end career goals, and that can create tension when that torch should be handed off. But that really is a separate policy. That's going to be really covered in whether or not you have a mandatory retirement policy, and we'll kind of cover that in a different video. If you have any questions about this or want to talk about it, please put it in the comments below.